everybody. Hello, hello. Monday night, and welcome to the regular Team Up Monday night call. It's a pleasure to see so many people on the call tonight. We've got so many sideline partners that are joining us because everybody is excited about the new changes that are happening. And I'm Terry Luongo, and I am a national marketing director with the Juice Plus Company. I've been involved with our amazing company for 32 years, and we have had a Monday night get together, either a phone call or a Zoom, for going on every Monday night for 30 years. And so I'm pretty proud of that. So tonight we're here to talk to you about change. And, you know, being with the company for 32 years, and I know that Curt's been around and David's been around and Jen has been around, we've experienced some seasons. Okay, we have experienced some seasons in 32 years. And right now, especially in the past 3 years, our company's been going through, well, let's just call it a reorganization of reorganizing the company to prepare us for future growth. And that's what's happening right now. And yes, you know, these changes in the past 3 years, they've taken longer than we had anticipated because of technology issues, but we are moving towards change. And, you know, in fact, you know, when you think of what happened last week, right, when, Travis stepped down and, you know, none of us expected that. You know, the founders didn't expect it. None of us expected that. And we will miss Travis because he's such a great friend to so many people. But guys, make no mistake about it. You know, he stepped down to make room for a new leader who could take us into a new era. And I know that most of us were on the Carrie Daigle call and so impressed with Mike Lohner. So impressed with him. I'm impressed with his track record, his vision, his love and commitment to direct sales. I mean, and that's what we are. That's what we represent. And I am so proud. I've always been so proud to represent not just Juice Plus, but the way we do this business. So tonight, I've asked Curt Beavers to join us on our weekly conversation because he's had the privilege of having some one-on-one time with Mike Lohner. You know, heart-to-heart conversations, one-on-one. So I've asked Curt to kind of come with us, give us, you know, his insights, and maybe all help us with Mike, you know, create a clear path for the future. Curt?
Yeah, I am glad to see everybody. It's amazing. I've got the screen is up so we can see everybody. So let's see a show of hands of who was on the earlier call, just so I can get I think just about everybody. There are a few that weren't. Hopefully it was recorded for you. It was an amazing call. I'll try and fill in the gaps a little bit for you, though. I don't want to blow past anything, but we are entering a new season. So this is all happening because September the 30th, the some amazing ownership group took the company away from the private equity group, and they're not like little players. These companies invest in major business opportunities, and they don't have millions or billions, they have trillions. It's the likes of BlackRock, Fidelity, huge Apollo, Scion, huge investment organizations. And Mike Lohner, the guy that you met tonight, was on that board. He's been on the board since it was started 3 years ago. He's part of the board that brought Travis on board, our CEO, Travis Garza. And, you know, it's been really interesting. Travis became him and his wife Heidi became amazing friends for Lori and I, and he's an amazing person. And I think the words that Mike used, he brought the heart back to the company. He made it feel like he made like we had a leader that was a family guy. And that was when we got invited to go down to Mike's place. Some of you from Texas, he lives in Westlake at Vaquero, which is it's one of the nicest neighborhoods I've ever been in. It's amazing. If you've never been in that neighborhood and you live in Texas, it's an amazing place. A very, really, really exclusive golf community. He is one of the top golfers in the world. He's amazing. 63 years old. And he says, really, the only guys out there that can hit it further than me are those long ball champions. I can outdrive most of the guys on the tour. That's what I mean. He's really that good. But I got to see, when we knew we were going, I called him and I said, Mike, um, can I come down and have breakfast with you? And I'd like to spend some one-on-one time with you. And so I got 2.5 hours with him before we started our meeting. And I wanted to get to know him. I wanted to see if I trusted him. I wanted to see if he was somebody that I was willing to get behind and follow. I just wanted to know some things about him. And Kerry asked a lot of questions, but I will tell you, he's a man who puts God first, his family second, and then his friends, relationships, and people and endeavors that he's in, they come third. And that was important to me, that he was a man of faith, that he's a man of 42 years being married to the same lady, and the kids he has, and the heritage that he had. You raise a special needs child, and any of you that have done that, that creates a resilient man and woman, the mother and father that have done that. So he's been through a lot of things like that. But what I realized, I cried about Travis leaving. He was my buddy. Um, but sometimes there are things that certain people, they're not equipped to deal with like somebody else is equipped to deal with them. And Travis was the hardest working human being I know. But, I would not know what to do if I had to work with a board of directors and Wall Street people. And that's just like right down Mike's alley. He was already on the board. So he wasn't like, he didn't have to get the board's permission because he was the board. He's chairman of the board. So he gets to make decisions. They've trusted him. They've going to invest in him. And he says, guys, he says, we have a future that is, if we just rally together and come back, we've got technology working for us. He's got some new product ideas. He said, if we just get a glimmer of hope into the eyes of these investors, he said, we'll have more money behind us than any direct sales company has ever had to take us to levels we've never seen before. He said, you have no idea the resources that are available to us if we just make a few right moves, band back together. And Mike knows, I ask him questions like Kerry did too about the affiliate model and about where we're headed. And he's 100% direct sales. I mean, what he said is true. I mean, he left Stella and Dot because they were going to go affiliate. He didn't want to do that. He took them to the top, didn't want to do that, and he left. He is seen 16 or 17. I don't forgot how many companies that tried affiliate, doesn't work. He believes in the army of people, treating them right, and they can do anything if you give them the resources and the tools and the opportunity to be happy and make people happy. I mean, he really believes in that happy thing. He got me that book, the Marty Seligman book. I mean, it's Seligman. He's such a joyful person to be around. He's inspiring, but he said something else to me. He said, he said, in order to be amazing, you have to be willing to fail sometimes too. And he said, we have to be bold enough to try things and do things. And we're not going to be perfect and hit every one of them. But if we don't try, we're never going to get there. He is not going to be happy. I mean, one of his professors at Stanford was Jim Collins, who wrote the book Good to Great. And he just said, why do we want to settle to be good when we can be great? So he's going to take the bull by the horns, guys. I think you're going to be impressed. I think you're going to be excited. I think he's the person we need right now. And I don't know. I just felt so confident in our future when I left his presence. But he wasn't flashy or wasn't like he was trying to impress us. He just was a thoroughbred. You felt like you were connecting with a thoroughbred or something, I guess. So
Wow.
Terry, I mean, that's kind of my first thoughts. We can keep going, or we can, you ask me another question if you want to.
Well, what I'd love to do is, because so many of us were on the call with Carrie, I would love this to be very casual, and just,
Yep.
does anybody here have any questions that they want to ask Curt? He did get to spend time with Mike Lohner. Just, anything that's on your heart. I want you to walk away from this even more inspired than you were after the Daigle call.
Terry, it doesn't have to be about Mike Lohner. I mean, I'm open for whatever questions I have. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Abby's the first one. Abby Allen.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble now.
You're in trouble now.
Hi, Curt. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Abby. How are you?
Okay, question for you. Do you see with Mike coming in and, I'm working towards NMD. Do you see
Yep.
any changes coming with the marketing plan?
I think, and answer your question, I don't see anything immediate. I think we've talked about a lot of things. I think he realizes that we don't do business today the same way we did when Jay introduced Juice Plus. I mean, we were using fax machines and pagers, and we didn't have the internet. So I think he knows that we have to modernize the way we sell, the way we do things. But it's not headed down an affiliate or a model like that. I think he is committed to making sure that the seller, that person on the front end, makes enough profit at the point of the retail sale. I think that's a commitment he wants to make. I think he's committed to going back to a simple model
Okay.
that we had before. I mean, I don't know if some of you were around, some of you weren't, but we had a very simple good, better, best pricing model where we had a retail price, we had a preferred customer, and a wholesale, like a auto subscription price. That was our preferred customer. And then we had a wholesale partner price. And if we can get back to a simple point of sale that makes closing the sale easier, good, better,
Mhm.
best, which one do you want? I think you can see things like that. I don't see an overhaul on the compensation plan. He's really all about simple. He said, I think some of the rules and obstacles, I think you're going to see that, things get cleaner and simpler. He doesn't like he wants it to be just, let's just go sell and break records and hit levels and maybe clean it up a little bit. But no, I don't see a compensation plan overhaul. I don't see anything major there. But I think he's known, I will say this, he's known as a consumer products and technology expert in the direct sales industry. He's
Okay.
going to be innovative, but he's not going to change something that's made us who we are, I don't think.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm
Answer your
excited to meet him.
question. Okay, very good. Okay, Mick Daly, you have a question?
Amy Hopkins was ahead of me.
Go ahead. I see that too. Well, because you are such a gentleman, we'll let Amy go before you. Amy Hopkins.
Hey, Curt.
Hey,
Can you hear
Amy,
me
what's up?
okay? What's up? Hey. So, as a medical professional, I see the downstream effects of poor nutrition all the time. We are at an intersection with our product and this company. And how do you see our health mission expanding under Mike's leadership?
Health mission. Can you help me a little bit with that? What does that mean, health mission?
Like, how will our other health providers be impacted by his leadership, and what does he think? Did he share thoughts with you about all of our research institute and
Yes.
all of that?
Okay, I got you. So there's two things. I think there's two areas that the way I would answer that question. One is he thinks we are doing a terrible job right now of making our research front and center. He wants to bring the research back front and center. He wants that to be, he believes that, in our industry, you have to make yourself unique. Blending in is not a good option. And without us using our research, we blend in, I think. And I don't know if he used that word, but it was something like that. So he really wants us to take the research and put a stake in the sand and separate ourselves from the pack. So that's one thing. Number two, you heard him kind of talk a little bit about some of the products and stuff he was looking at. Every time he's mentioned about 8 or 9 to me, and he's an amazing. I mean, he and I become buddies. We text quite a bit. And he just sent me a bunch of pictures of his grandbaby a minute ago. So he's all excited about his grandbaby. But every product he's mentioned to me, he says, and our healthcare providers and our doctors are going to get behind this. That's important. As we innovate, we want our healthcare professionals and doctors to embrace every new product. So we want it to have science and whether it has research out of the gate or whether it just has some science where we can do some studies and have research on our own. He thinks any new product he introduces needs to be embraced by the healthcare community. So.
Wow, that is so good to know, Curt. I hope that brings you peace of mind, Amy Hopkins. Okay. All right. Next up to bat, Mick Daly from Arizona.
I know you.
So apologize for having to look at my still picture, but you wouldn't want to see my real life face. Don't even ask. So
you didn't shave, did you, Mick?
Curt, Mike is interim CEO.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the future?
So when I first met Mike, I didn't hear the word interim CEO. He said he was the chairman of the board, the executive chairman of the board. So he was on the board. And actually a gentleman by the name of Michael O'Hare was chairman of the board, and they went to Mike Lohner and said, would you be chairman of the board, but would you also be the executive chairman of the board? Meaning we don't want you just to sit on the board. We would like for you to be hands-on in directing the future of this company. Travis resigned, and I don't think Mike Lohner, our new executive chairman, but I don't think he's going to remove himself from any level of involvement. But he's such a brilliant man and functions at an incredibly high level. I know for a fact that he really appears to be a good delegator. You know how different leaders have different strengths, and I think he wants to get us, off and launched in the right direction, right track. But I mean, I know for a fact he probably does. I mean, he doesn't want to do what Travis did all by himself. Travis was one of the hardest working human beings I've ever met in my life. And when you've got needs in Australia and in Europe and all over the world, he needs somebody a running mate to do this with him. He's going to be the overseer, the visionary, the bold one that's leading us into the future. But whether it's a CEO or a COO, a company needs a CEO. So since Travis is gone, that moniker is on Mike right now also. But I think down the road, I do think he will find somebody that he can delegate to that will, be that number two man with him. But he's in the fight with us. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know how boards and stuff, what kind of titles you have to have in documents and stuff. But I would say he's not going to find a replacement for himself. I don't think it's an urgent thing. I think it's just a natural thing that needs to happen so that he doesn't have to do everything. And I don't think he wants to do everything. I think he wants to delegate. He's an in charge kind of guy. I mean, whether you like Trump or not, or politics or not, I mean, you can see, I mean, when you surround yourself with amazing people, you get a lot done. And I think that's the kind of person that Travis is. He didn't need the job. He didn't need the money, but he saw an opportunity to make a huge difference. But I don't think he wants to do that alone. I think he's one of those that brings the right people along beside him. Just like he brought Neil Markey, who fixed our IT and had us an app in 90 days, so he knows how to delegate.
That's huge. That's great to hear, Curt. After Mike spoke to the leadership Zoom last week, I turned to Jenny and said, he doesn't look very interim to me.
No, he's all in. But I mean, I do think he's not going to kill himself either. He knows how to delegate and pick wise people to be around him. So, I mean, I think that's kind of exciting. I mean, knowing he picked Neil Markey, it makes you feel good about who he's going to choose.
Yeah, Neil Markey is my hero.
Okay, yeah, real quick, would you explain to those that don't know who Neil Markey is?
Yes, I will. So, one of the things that if Travis had what would be the right word? Any things that didn't go well during his tenure, one of those would have been Travis knew he was not a technology guy. And I think he believed he hired the right person to fix our technology, which was Bill Baker, but he was not. He did not know what he was doing and did not do a very good job of our transition. And Mike came in from the board and said, I can fix this, but we got the wrong guy. And he said, I know the right guy. And so he brought Neil Markey in, who was an employee of his for 10 years. And he created the app that Mike said he sold and took public. He created the software platform for Stella and Dot that made Terry's pocketbook possible. You got to hold it up now, Terry. Everybody didn't see that. Terry found her Stella and Dot.
Yes.
She's going to take it to conference and let Mike see it. So, he brought Neil Markey on board because he knew him, he trusted him. Plus, he's on the board of the Exego, the software company that runs our back office and does our payroll every month. I mean, he knows the technology in our industry. So he brought Neil on and said, Neil, you got to fix this, and we need an app. And that was about 90 days ago, and now it's done. So there you go.
Okay, yeah, 90 days. Okay, so powerful. All right, next up to bat is Familia Parker from Connecticut.
Hey there. Okay, Curt, my passion is St. Jude's Marathon.
Yeah.
So my question is, did you speak about the St. Jude's Marathon? Obviously, he knows about that, the relationship with him, that this is our 25th year to be the presenting sponsor. And
we did not talk about it. He's all into giving back, but I bet he can hit a golf ball 26.2 miles.
I bet he could. They have a big fundraising golf day too.
Yeah.
But just wondering because Ike at ALSAC mentioned how we don't utilize them enough. So there's another way.
No, he's all. I mean, he's been on the job for 10 days, so I did not. I'm sure that the St. Jude Marathon and all their benevolent stuff will become more in the forefront as we get closer to conference and those things are mentioned from the main stage. But I have not had a conversation with him about that yet. But he seems like a kind of guy that is all into giving back and being involved in those kind of things. But that hasn't come up yet. So
I'll send an email then and introduce myself. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, good job. And we're so proud of Amelia.
Yeah.
Captain of the, Jude Plus, representing the St. Jude Marathon. It's huge. All right, next, Socorro, John. What's on your heart, honey?
Thanks, Curt, for being here tonight. And Terry.
You don't have a new grandbaby in North Carolina yet, do you?
Not yet. Not
All
yet.
right.
Nope.
Okay.
I'll be going over there next week.
Right.
So, my question is, we had Stuart for 3 years and Travis for 3, and he brought in his own, team and all. So now with the new CEO, is he going to bring his own team to make all that stuff happen?
He took all the senior leadership team. He took the 6 of us to his place in Texas the week before last. And then last week he took the senior leadership team. And I've talked to all of them. I don't think any of them are going anywhere. I mean, they're not leaving because Travis left.
But would he take him with wherever he's going?
Who, Travis?
Yes.
Well, Travis is still a consultant and an advisor with the company. If you heard the call, he's on a contract with the company, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. That's typical when someone at his level leaves the company. There's some kind of 12-month, 18-month arrangement where they're working with the company. So he won't be going anywhere to take them anywhere anytime soon, number one. But number two, I would expect he would add people. I think he likes the core of who's there right now. Technology wise, he may bring on some people to work with Neil because he knows we've still got, we'll never be perfect, but there's some finishing and polishing needs to be done there. I think he is, it's really important to him that let me think of how he said this. He said, what I know is, he said, if I had $100,000 and I could spend it on Instagram, social media, and run an ad for Juice Plus, or I could hire the right person to create $100,000 of videos, marketing, and promotional material and give it to the army of people. He said, I would get much more out of getting it to an army of people that they would multiply it and multiply it and multiply it and spread it. So, I think he's going to work closely with Gina, and I wouldn't surprise me if she didn't have, some help come alongside of her to get more. She's wonderful at marketing and branding, but if somebody that was like excellent at selling, if you came alongside of her and took her marketing and branding and put it in the hands of all of us, a little more he talked around that topic. So I would expect, if anything, some additions. I think they've done all the trimming and streamlining and things they needed to do. I think there's some more cuts going to happen in Europe, to be honest, because we got really top heavy in Europe with employees. As we had too many offices over there. We had like offices in every language country. And so they needed to consolidate and have like a main place. And, there's no reason why they couldn't run Amsterdam out of London, and they didn't need offices in every country. So I think you'll see a little bit of streamlining over in Europe, but I don't think you'll see it here anymore.
Okay. Thank you.
Real quick, Curt, when we say that the senior leadership team is in place, other than Skylar, who makes up the senior leadership team? So,
I'll do my best job to give you the answer to that. So it's Skylar, who is sales, Gina, who is marketing, Sally, who is legal. She's a corporate attorney, Susan, who is the CFO, Janae, who is the chief operating officer, and let me think, is there anybody else? Oh, and Charlie No, who is the executive vice president of strategies, and I forgot his exact title, but he's a strategic business data kind of person that kind of works hand in hand with the CEO. So that's who was a part of the strategic leadership team that was in Dallas last week.
Yeah, and only that, most of us only know like Skylar and Gina. Most of these other names are kind of foreign to us. So when people say the senior leadership team, I had no idea.
Well, I mean, but basically you're talking about C-suite. So the people I named were like, Neil Markey was there. So you had sales, chief marketing officer, chief technology officer, chief financial officer, chief operating officer, chief legal officer, and chief strategic officer, whatever Charlie's title is. But it's the C-suite with the company is basically what you would call it, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Does anybody else have any questions that they want to run by Curt? Amy, one more time.
If y'all don't mind, I just want to say, Curt, and I just enjoyed hearing the joy that I heard from Mike tonight. He was so personable, and I really appreciate how that can bring people together in times of uncertainty, right? It always leads to uncertainty in us whenever we change leadership. And he was just so confident and caring. I could hear his heart in everything he said on the Carrie Daigle call today. How do you think that will filter down into us?
I mean, I know one thing. As much as I love Travis to death, one of the things that I would hear him say sometimes, if the board approves it or if the board will do this, because he felt like that's where he was situated in the decision-making process. And the person that Travis had to get approval from is running the company now. So the buck stops here. You've got somebody where there's nobody else that he has to get approval from. He can make decisions. And that's not a knock on Travis. It's just to change the board, and the investors have said, we want the buck to stop here. We want somebody that's engaged with us to be leading. So I think you're going to feel, somebody's blazing the trail ahead of you that you're willing to ride right behind them. That's the way I would say it. I mean, he's going to be bold. I'm just telling you guys, he's going to do bold things to take us to great places. He's not going to, pity patty around. He's going to go for it. I think you're going to feel like you've got somebody that doesn't want to do a little bit. He doesn't want Juice Plus to be good. He wants Juice Plus to be great.
Yeah. Curt, I love what he said, that I have no interest in managing decline.
Yeah.
That was so powerful. And the other thing that he said that really resonated with me when he gave the formula for happiness, positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, achievement. And he said, this industry is built for happiness. And one more question. We got time for one more. Melinda?
It could be Mark. I don't know. Mark's got on his UT shirt over there. He always shines that burnt orange on me.
Yeah, no, actually it's Brianna. She's in the chat, but she's got a toddler. So she was asking, do you see that strength and confidence of Mike's being passed along to the team, especially those who've been around 5 to 6 years and seen all these changes and maybe are a little discouraged? Or how can we pass that on?
How can we pass? Well, I think number one, I mean, I know it's tough right now and it's expensive, but anybody, I would think if you're going to be in this business and you want to see what the leadership's like and where the company is going, it'd be worth buying a ticket to go to Phoenix to be a part of seeing that firsthand. So I think if you can get anybody to Phoenix, I think the ability to see him on stage firsthand is going to be exciting. I think there's going to be he's going to make stuff happen. So I think that's going to be there. I think you're going to, on calls, on Zooms, leadership calls. I think you're going to feel his presence. And sometimes I think, I mean, I'm guessing a little bit, but I really feel this is true. I think sometimes you're going to see him firsthand, but I think the speed at which we move and make decisions and declutter and get to simplicity, you're going to feel the boldness of him behind everything we do from now on. I just don't think he's not going to sit back and wait and see what happens. He's going to make things happen. It's like when I do that, when I send out that text on Mondays, and some of you are part of that wake up with Curt text I send out, there's nothing miraculous in there. And I'm not sure that Mike's going to do anything miraculous, but he's going to lead and make things happen. He's not going to react to he's not going to react to problems. He's not going to react to the current status quo. He's going to take us where he thinks we need to go. And I think you're going to feel that in his leadership style.
Hey, Curt, everyone may not know, but he is going to be on the Zoom tomorrow, the kickoff Zoom with Skylar.
Yes, at 11 Central. Carrie said tomorrow night, but it's actually a daytime call.
Right.
And it's 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern tomorrow. He's going to be kickoff and cast vision for March. So it won't be as much of an introduction to Mike as tonight was. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of that because it won't be exactly the same crowd. But he is doing that call tomorrow. And the flyer for that call is in boards if you want to see it.
Yeah, and it's been emailed out to everybody too. So it's there. All right, everybody. Curt Beavers.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight, sharing your presence. It was wonderful. And here at Team Up, we have a slogan, and that is stay close to the fire. Okay?
Yeah.
And pass down all of this energy and enthusiasm from Mike Lohner. Stay close to the fire.
And Carrie, can I say one thing?
Sure can.
Literally, I know Terry can serve this role well, and Mick and Jenny and Melinda. I don't know who all the NMDs are who are on here, but I mean, you've got a lot of leadership. But as we turn this ship around and we follow Mike's boldness, if you need somebody on the phone, I think, as Mark said, Brianna asked in the chat, the ones that are discouraged, that need to be reignited, that need to be resold, that need to be that need to understand that there were troubles, but they're behind us now. They need to hear that. They need to understand that. I'm happy to get on a 3-way call or do anything with any of you guys. So you can go to calendar.curtbeavers.com and book a time. If you need me to talk to somebody for you, I'll be the ever ready bunny, and I'll convey some relaxed intensity about the future. So,
you gave us the name of all the chiefs, chief this, chief that. Let's give it up for Curt Beavers, our chief. Okay, thank you so much, Curt. Appreciate you.
See ya.
Thank you, Curt.
Bye.
Have a great night. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.